All right, everybody, welcome to X's and O's with LeRoy Butler. There are weekly dissection of a couple of Packers plays. And this first one was a 3rd and 4 play in the second quarter, 6:13 left to go. And what we got here from Atlanta, they didn't have two guys with the same number. This is the guy who went in motion. Yep. But it's a 3rd and 4, and the Packers come out with one defensive lineman only.
Yes.
3 linebackers and 7 defensive backs. What are they doing here?
This is what we used to call this defense 4-0, because we're going to use all of the defensive backs to give the illusion to the offense that there is no mismatch. We can double at any time. We can blitz at any time. I mean, you can bring 35, 37, and 25 and rotate the safeties. But we're assuming to force you to funnel the ball where we want you to throw. We're going to dictate to you. But most offenses, when they see this defense, they'll just run the ball regardless.
Okay.
They'll just run it, and that's the weakness of it. Because they got more linemen in here, and once you get to the next level and you get a guy pulling around, you got a big play in there. So it's a lot of pressure on Martinez, lots of pressure on him.
Okay, now I think on the first photo we see that the receiver is in motion. And as we've talked about many times, as soon as this guy goes in motion, you can tell whether it's going to be man-to-man or zone coverage.
Yes.
So if one of these defensive backs follows him all the way across, that's man-to-man.
He knows man-to-man.
If nobody follows him, it's zone.
It's a pretty much of some kind of zone or a fire zone or something of that nature.
So nobody followed him, and now we know they're in zone. And Matt Ryan knows that too.
Right.
Okay.
And he also he's seen this defense, but it was with another defensive coordinator that he was using, which was Don Capers, that NASCAR package, kind of. So he's seen it before, but what he hasn't seen are these numbers, 26, 35, 38, 37,
it is
23, 29. He hasn't seen these guys very much.
This is how many real true corners they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 true corners on the field. Which
everybody else is kind of both, really.
Yeah. Okay, so at the start of this, Matt Ryan has to figure out, all right, who's coming. And the offensive line figures it out.
Right.
They slide, he has them slide to, I guess, the strength. Is that because these guys are closest to the line of scrimmage?
Yes, because just in case one of these guys come off the corner, the slide takes it up, and then the backside guy, he'll call the back over to maybe block Fackrell, or the tackle will fan out and block Fackrell, and you could double Kenny Clark. And if Martinez comes, then you can slide off and take him as well.
A lot of options. So what they end up doing is sending Will Redmond, Josh Jackson, and Clay Matthews.
Yes.
And they do a pretty good job of picking this up. You know, like pick up here and pick up there, and everybody gets picked up. So I think we can see that.
And most of the time when you do this is what we call a fire zone. You get the best of both worlds time. You get a chance to get pressure in his face and still play a zone. But in this particular case, you're going to get the matchup that you want. Remember earlier I said you want the ball to funnel where you want it to go?
Right.
So this was smart of Pettit. I want that ball to go backside to the only one-on-one. I got one of my best corners on a tight end. We like that matchup.
Right down here at the bottom, you see the tight end. And you've got a corner and a safety.
Yes, because you got a guy 35 going underneath. And again, you got Martinez, dropping deep. And again, you got Kyle Fackrell maybe can come across and come back and help as well.
Okay, so these guys drop and all come this way. What are these two guys thinking with this tight end?
Your film study will tell you that no tight end, is not, especially not a hooper, will run this out and up. That's your film study. I'll tell you that. So if you're Breeland, I'm sitting heavy. I won't even backpedal. He got great depth because 35 will undercut everything that's short.
So 35 will take
all that little
flat here.
Yeah, any of that time, I don't even have to do anything. Just get the safety depth, and I got to believe what I see. So when Matt Ryan, through my film study, when he first opens up, he normally commits. So that's when you got to commit. Otherwise, he could pump here and maybe hit a seam down here. Now that happens, but that ain't my side.
Right. And what you see is they run one guy deep. Julio Jones runs across, and they run a little bit of. He could have hit this hitch; it was wide open.
Yeah.
But you got to throw it to the blitz side with guys in their hands up.
And see, that's a veteran quarterback who threw for 4,000 yards this year. It seems like he does it every year. He missed that. You got to throw it right here, guys wide open. This is a matchup where you really don't want it to go. But again, we're bringing pressure here. Human nature says turn back. I got a one-on-one. Now the defense just funneled you to go right where we wanted to go, right in this window.
So let's watch it on up here. Now you see the tight end at the bottom. Like you said, he's not going to do an out and up because he's really not that fast. And
right.
He's
I've never seen on film study. If he does it, God help him.
35's got the flat there, and here is our man of the hour, 26 at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you can go to the next one.
That's a great picture, Bill, right there. See? He's not even backpedaling. He's sitting there, got his catcher's mitt on. He's just sitting there waiting. There's no film that we've seen, that's what you're telling yourself, that he runs an out and up or a curl and go. I'm going to believe what I see. Now, Burton in Chicago, he may do an out and up or a seam or a curl and go, but not Hooper. So at this time, Breeland has to believe what he sees and commit. They haven't had an interception since week 4.
Yeah, so it was Breeland. Yeah.
Right. So you have to be aggressive at this particular time. And the good thing about it, he's nice and square, and he has a chance. He has a chance here to do what we're about to see.
Okay, and here it is.
That's amazing. I wish I had picks like this. If I had picks like this, I'd already been in a Hall of Fame. That's amazing.
That is a really nice catch.
And the reason why it's a nice catch, because most receivers try to come back to the ball. If he comes back to the ball by him extending, he can take it away from him. So that was a great play. And I mean, again, this is something that all defensive backs dream of, is a pick six, especially at that point in the game. That was the turning point of the game.
Yeah, and so on here, really, he's just, this guy kind of came more like here, and he just cuts right in front of it.
And after that, it's a wrap.
All the way to the end zone. So that's how that play happened. Interesting setup defensively, and another.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff that Pettit will show the next coach. You know, I got stuff that I can dial up that can confuse any former MVP.
Yeah.
You know, but Matt Ryan should have looked at his feet to know that Breeland's not backpedaling, so he's sitting on it. Don't even go there, come back and hit the hitch. You know, go through your progression and do that, but hey, I'm glad he threw it.
We could see some form of this against Mitch Trubisky. That's for sure on Sunday.
Again, if this is Burton, he may run some double moves, but he got that kind of talent. But again, I'm glad he threw it.
Okay, next we're going to look at an offensive play that we'll see whether they can run it against the Bears. It worked against the Falcons.
Yeah, this segment was brought to you by Cops and Kids.
Okay, so this was a play in the third quarter. Packers have the ball. They're up 24-7 or 30. I don't know. I was getting a Coke at that time. And it's 2nd and 3, and this is a classic zone run play. So you want to explain? I'm going to let you handle this because
these are the plays that you just stick to it. And these are the plays, if Aaron Rodgers look at a matchup he sees, he's checking out of this. If you got one-on-one over here with Devontae Adams and the safety's not, if he's flip-flop, you're checking out of it. Or you can go to 4 verticals and you'll still be able to hit, you know, Jimmy Graham right there. But Aaron sticks with it, and I'm glad he did because with this front, it's perfect. But this would not work if it wasn't for Corey Lindsey.
Okay, so
it would not work.
Let's see how it starts. Yeah, just start on the left side and move to who's blocking who.
Yeah, because basically you need everybody to step the same way because we're going to play a little cut back here, okay? So you want guys to just step here, okay? You got to step here because you got to cut off the angles of everybody. And what Corey Lindsey does, he moves, you have a double team here. You know, both guys are here because he has to get to this next level to cut this guy off. And then Patrick cuts off 94. So if you can see that, you got a double team here, and Lindsley moved to the next level to cut off 45. Now McCray wants to cut off his guy only because we're going to have the back, Aaron Jones, cut away from where we step, and that creates the hole.
Okay,
but
so
you got to get a good backside block by Bakhtiari.
Let's show how this sets up first. You can just see the start of it. You can see everybody moving to the left or to the right. I mean, that's the run play. That's the action that gets the defense moving, right?
Yes, and that's the thing that you can stay with. Now, Aaron Jones can read the blocking scheme right here.
That's what he's doing.
He has to be patient, stick his foot in the ground, and go. And once you get into the secondary, that's what you want, him one-on-one with a safety, and you should get the same results.
Let's show the next one. You can get a better idea.
That's a good – thank you, Bill. See the way McCray has cuts off 99. Look at Corey Lindsey right in front of Aaron Rodgers. You see where his hat is? His helmet is on the 9. Right. So he got that block there. That helps him get to the next level.
Yeah, so
if for some reason 94 is on the other side, there's no way he can get to Dion.
Right, and he's going to be able to get here to 45.
Yes.
And that's the whole key to the play, really.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the whole key to it. And then later down, we'll talk about later, but Kumaro cuts off the corner to make sure the corner doesn't get Aaron Jones towards the end. Those are the efforts that you start to see.
Yeah, so you got this,
yep.
You got this, you got this, you got this, and you got this.
Right.
So everybody's moving this way. What does Aaron Jones do?
So Aaron Jones, when he gets to that point, he's thinking if everybody's moving here, there's no way when they stop to come back to get me, all of my linemen, I've created an angle for my offensive line by going opposite of them. It's almost like doing a crisscross. And now once you do that, now if he's slow, like waiting, he can get caught by the backside guy, but Bakhtiari cut him off. So you cut him off with what we call a booty block. You just got to move the guy around. There's no holding if you're doing that, right? But he cuts right in there, Tom, and then at that point, stiff arm, you get a touchdown. But I want to emphasize what Kumaro did down here. Because you got the corner coming here. He's following you because he thinks you're running a pass pattern. But sooner or later, you're going to figure out it's a run, and he'll try to double back. But what Kumaro does is come out, wall him off, and there's the angle that you want.
All right, so now you'll be able to see it.
Oh, yeah, that's great right there.
Here's Jones up on the top, okay? So he's reading all those blocks, block. And now he could go through this hole, right? He could go to the hole between 99 and 54.
Yes,
but he sees all this movement going this way,
right?
And he does the right thing. I think we can show the next one.
That's why you got to be patient. He'll cut right off
Patrick. Was headed this way, and he cuts back this way. And what I always like about him is that he cuts that really thin behind the block.
Right. And now you also see where Bakhtiari is, who will be in the Pro Bowl. You see his block. And you see Corey Lindsey has worked his way up to 45. 45 tries to redirect and come back, but Lindsey has the angle on him, and so does 54. Now, Spriggs got to be careful right there because he could get a holding call.
Yeah, it looks like
but by the cutback, kind of saves him on it, you know, because now you don't need to block him anymore.
Yeah,
he's already through the hole.
Yeah. And then the next one, we see him on the way, and there's
now
the
you see
block we
Kumaro,
talked about.
there's Kumaro there, and that's what you want to do. And then you also see Randall Cobb hustling to try to get a block, not to hit somebody in the back, but that's the hustle people say they haven't seen. They claim they haven't seen. I mean, it's been going on, but this is extra.
Right.
I'm going to sprint down there, cut a guy off if I can. I'm not going to hit him in the back, but doing extra is what we haven't seen that we saw against Atlanta.
Okay, now let's transpose this and put Akeem Hicks right here, and Eddie Goldman right here. Those are two of the Bears' best defensive linemen.
Interior linemen.
So what's Hicks going to do?
He's going to cut the gap off because he'll know this play. He'll see it on film. So Aaron has to be smart about it. Try to get a hard count first to throw him off. And then what they'll do is they'll try to shoot the gap with these guys here. And then they'll bring Khalil Mack. He'll come around and cut in the middle, and they'll bring the end outside. So they'll run like a game. And so he'll clean them up, and he'll probably meet Aaron Jones right in the hole. But that doesn't mean that it's dead, though.
Right.
Because what Patrick has to do, 62, has to just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Now that cutback is all the way back here and it's on that side. Because all you want to do is get Aaron Jones in the secondary. So he can still do it, but Chicago run a lot of games, and sometimes it's confusing. So you got to know where Khalil Mack is, and then you slide away from him, or you can step away from him and make sure it works.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Also, I think Akeem Hicks, what he'll try to do is hold Corey Linsley there so he can't get out here.
Yes, that's a great point.
He's a big, strong
if I'm Joe Philbin, I'm going to tell the referee, the interior, hey, watch out for that because they be holding our guy. Because allegedly, we used to do that in the 90s, but I never said it.
No. Gilbert Brown, Santana Dotson never did that.
No, they would never do nothing like that.
I think also...
Unless when I blitzed and they had to.
Of course. I think they could also take this outside. If
That's true. They can do that.
Too.
They have numbers. They can just take it outside. It may not score because they're stepping this way and everybody's flowing this way, but you'll be able to get 8 to 10 yards. But again, these are the plays that when you see it on film, that Aaron should stay with it unless you get Devontae Adams or Fuller by himself or Prince by himself, and I like the matchup.
Yeah.
And you're going to throw the 50-50 ball.
You might have to.
Let it run.
These guys lead the league in run defense.
Yes.
They give up 3.7 yards a carry, which is amazing.
When I think you offset that by saying Aaron Jones is second in the league in yards per average, so it'll be man on man, and let's see what happens.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, thank you, everybody, for listening and taking
Thank
part
you very
in
much. I
X's and
appreciate
O's.
it. And again, this segment is brought to you by Cops and Kids.
And we'll see you next week.